Hello everyone and welcome to lovely Edinburgh in Scotland, where we are parked here after our three-sector day yesterday, going from Amsterdam to Belfast, then on to Cardiff, and then lastly on here to Edinburgh in Scotland. We are on our European tour, where we are planning to visit every country that are currently a member of the European Union. That includes even the Brexit countries. And instead of just visiting one part of the UK, we decided to take each country that makes up the UK, so Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland and England. Today we will be finishing up the UK itself by going to London Heathrow in England, as we see here I think that must be a wrong livery loading, but we are online on VATSIM, and there's a guy who just arrived here to Edinburgh. As always, we are in VR 100% on the Oculus Rift S using X-Plane 11 and flying the Boeing 737 Zibo mod. We are using the Scandinavian Saga Viking livery, and we'll be using that for the entirety of this project, and we will be using the call sign Scandinavian 511 for the duration of this project as well. We do fly with failures enabled, and we do have an option enabled that will crash us if we exceed G limits or overspeed. So we will have to fly her realistically and carefully. Yeah, so as you can see, the weather in Dublin is a bit of a mixed bag. A bit better, I think, than it was yesterday, but just slightly. We do have some holes in the cloud cover here, and it pretty much represents the weather throughout the entirety of this journey to London Heathrow. I had planned to do a flight a bit earlier, but I would like some ATC to be present, especially going into busier airports like Heathrow, where it's hard to keep things well coordinated with the Unicom. So it is Friday afternoon, and it should provide us with some ATC coverage. VATSIM is, as you might guess, mostly active during the weekends, and this being Friday afternoon, I am pretty much certain that we'll have some sort of ATC. I did see some ATC online here in Edinburgh as well, and I did see ATC in Heathrow. Whether he's still online or not, I don't know, but we will have a look later on. So there's another landing. Let's go look at him. Is that easy yet? Yeah, no. That's Jet 2 coming in. 737, nice landing there. And the scenery here in Edinburgh, I can't really remember. I think it is freeware scenery. I don't know if it's TGG or not, but it is very nice scenery. Yeah, that got parked up in some static, but that's okay. So let's jump into the cockpit and start setting up. I do expect the flight today to take around 1 hour, and the setup time around 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how smooth the setup will be, if we encounter any issues. So if you just want to be flying, then you could skip 40 minutes ahead and we should be on our way. Yeah, so let's get into the cockpit and get started setting up our bird. Here she is. Looking good as always. So let's just get arranged here. There we go. Ground crew, also the cabin crew, busy already. So we'll just shut the door to get some privacy and get it nice and quiet. So we can try and find our flight plan for today here. And we are at 56 tons exactly, and we will need 6.5, let's say 7 tons. And 7 tons of fuel should do us nicely. There we go. 63 tons will be our takeoff weight, minus what we'll use in taxi. So let's start by getting her lit up. Ground power was available. And we can start aligning. There we go. And might as well get some lights on. Good to have. Yep, better. And then we can start doing some testing. So let's just start from here. Dim, bright, off. Normal, normal, normal. Go. Pop these on for the walk around. Looking good. Looking good. We need you to go to barrow. Yeah, looking good again. And reset lights test. And before we do anything else, just looking good. And these won't work for now, will work later on. As you might have guessed, I'm not updating the sim, I'm not changing any settings. The only thing that I might add to the sim during this project is more auto for XP for specific regions that we're going to. And I might add some scenery, that being airports, that I'm updating or trying to get my hands on for you to see. Other than that, I will keep the sim untouched as is for the duration of the flight or the entire journey. And so far we have been quite lucky and have been having decent FPS. I'm happy as long as they are at 20 or above. For this flight I have turned off the 3J FPS tool, and we'll see how it handles. But other than that I won't be tweaking much. So we were testing, and the next is the takeoff configuration horn. Speed brake stowed, flaps are up. Do the fire test. Good. It's good. And we can do a GCAS test.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Climb now.
Oxygen.
Climb.
Escape
Crossing.
rope.
Climb. Climb. Crossing. Climb. Climb.
Spare bolts
Climb.
and
Clear
fuses.
of conflict. Descend. 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 Crossing. Descend. Descend. Crossing. Descend. Descend. Descend now. Descend. Descend now. Increase climb. Increase climb. Increase descent. Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain. Maintain vertical speed. Crossing. Maintain. Monitor vertical speed. TCAS test. Pass.
It's all good. And just get ourselves positioned. EGLL, I believe, is Heathrow. Just double check that. Start the flight plan out anyway. So, and we are Scandinavian 511. We'll be departing from. Just have a look at our reserves, which our alternate is Manchester, and we will need 2.7 tons. Runway 24 and go Sam 1 Charlie. 24. Go Sam 1 Charlie. And what I will do is already now I will grab my my MoveVR Swift client to monitor the there we go, to monitor if we have any ATC or anything like that available. We did have one guy riding here not too long ago. So I'll just have a look here. Still have 80% ground actually, so 121.75. We could just try and tune him. And we can also tune the 80s 131.35. Just disrupt this one. 131.35.
Wind 250, 12 knots, visibility 10 kilometer or more, fuel 2,700 feet, temperature +20, dew point +15, QNH 1019, acknowledge receipt of information, Charlie, and advise aircraft type on first contact, Edinburgh, information, Charlie, time 1050, runway news 24, transition level, flight level 70, surface wind 250, 12 knots, visibility 10 kilometer or more, fuel 2,700 feet, temperature +20, dew point +15, QNH 1019, acknowledge receipt of information, Charlie, and advise aircraft type on first contact, Edinburgh, information, Charlie, time 1050, runway news 24, transition level, flight level 70, surface wind 250,
So I'll just grab my scratch pad while we're at it. I think we'll just ask for the clearance right away. Jacob Hill. So we are at stand. I think we're stand 6. Quite sure we are at stand 6. And we had information Charlie. And there goes some 1 Charlie departure. And I'll just jump out of the aircraft and see if I can see a stand number. It's nice to know. So what we'll do... Yep, number 6. That's all good. Tuned. And we'll pop you here, and I'll meet you definitely. Oh, that's the first time I touched the yoke, so it just pops up, so let's try it again. Edinburgh ground, good afternoon, Scandinavian 511 at stand 6 with information Charlie. Boeing 737 asking for clearance for London Heathrow via the GOSAM 1 Charlie departure.
Scandinavian 511, hello, Edinburgh ground here. We cleared Heathrow and GOSAM 1 Charlie departure runway 24, squawk 0433, and this is just changed to Delta.
Cleared London Heathrow via Gosan 1 Charlie departure, runway 24, squawk 0633 for Scandinavian 511.
Scandinavian 511, confirm squawk 0433 and acknowledge receipt of the information Delta.
Delta, and advise aircraft type on first contact. Edinburgh, information. Delta, time.
Confirming squawk 0633, and we will have a look at information Delta, Scandinavian 511. So it just updated ATIS, that was the last part.
Roger, I just sent the squawk on text by the communication, but other than that, we're back correct. Cool, push the start.
Okay. Just a bit noisy. I'll actually ask these ground guys, they are quite noisy. Ask them to bugger completely off. So. And we will just get the text up in case he is writing us. Confirming squawk 0433 for Scandinavian 511, and we'll get back to you when we're ready for push.
Roger, that's correct.
Yeah, so buggered up that, but we corrected it right. So we got our clearance. Now we can go on with our setup. Where were we? Route. And we were cleared, and we were 1-4, correct. So from Gosan, it's Papa 600. Fennick. And uniform Lima 612. To Lucky. Oh. Big fingers here. Lucky. And from Lucky direct to Nukara. Now I do expect Nukara, it's Bravo November 1 Bravo arrival. Will be 27 right. There we go. And let's just have a look. Looking good. We can activate that and go to the performance. So I do expect a quite busy day at Heathrow. Might actually be one of the busiest, for me as well, busiest arrivals we'll be doing for this entire trip. Heathrow being in competition with Frankfurt and Schiphol in the virtual airspace for the most busiest, I think, at least in the European continent. So, and it's Friday afternoon, people are having the weekend start with a good flight, and so I expect it to be quite busy, and expect ATC to be quite busy as well. So we will have to be on our toes, because if you cock up anything for them, they will most likely not be too happy, since they are quite busy and do not have time to hold you in the hand. But we will do our best as always, and hope we have good sound quality and good controllers who are clear and not speaking in hyperspeed. So we are going to have flight steps today as well. So first step is 250. Now I did notice yesterday that we do have some issues with getting this into the FMC So it does want us to go to let's have a look here. Go 5 2 5 2 5. Yeah, so it seems as I don't see the step really. 2 5. And I'll be alright. That will give us a better view of our lovely ORBX scenery that we have for the entire UK. 263 0 263 30 and +8, and we can execute that. Outside temperature here is 21 degrees, quite pleasant day in Edinburgh. We'll do a 22 kd rate today, and we will, oops, we're using flaps 5, dry runway, and we have 136, 137, 144. There we go. 144 is inserted, and we have D-step of 4.68, which is pretty much that. And we can just pop in our approach. We'll revisit this later on. You can have the legs page. And I am a bit uncertain. We are listening now to the ground. I'm a bit uncertain with regards to ground covering more than the ground today. Don't hear much activity actually from him, but we will go on with some maps here. And we are at 133 feet, which means I will need to pop on you so I can use my VR mouse, which makes this a lot easier for setting up this particular setting. It's basically the only knob I ever need my VR mouse for. This one, yeah, and of course for the better pushback. Here we go. Almost there. MFR rate is set to, and it is barrow, so that is good. And we had the QNH. We will just have a look at the delta.
Visibility 10 kilometer or more. Scattered 3,100 feet. Temperature +21. Dew point +15. QNH 1019. Acknowledge receipt of information Delta and advise aircraft type on first contact. Edinburgh information.
So why don't I get the maps up here?
120. Runway is 24. Transition level. Flight level 70. Surface wind 240. 15 knots. Visibility 10 kilometer or more. Scattered 3,100 feet. Temperature +21. +15. QNH 1019. Acknowledge receipt of information Delta.
Yeah. So I will have to just check something. See if I can fix it here. So we'll shut you down because the navigraph should be okay. So I do this. Don't know if I might have to leave VR to do this. Okay guys, so I just fixed the navigraph, the linking. It happens actually quite rarely now and then that it disconnects from the Avi tab and you have to relink it, and I have relinked it. So so we can move on with the setup and get ready to get out of here. We are closing on finishing up so we can get out of here. And meanwhile, I just heard that that our guy here in Edinburgh, our ATC, just locked off. So we will confirm that the frequency is gone now. Yep. So we will manage Unicom. And his ATC is dead as well, so yeah. Okay, so we will need airport chart. Not that it's such a big airport, and we will need a departure. Go someone Charlie, here we go. And we can start out by the initial climb clearance if there are any. Average track mileage, max sit altitude is 6,000, so we'll set 6,000. Make sure we don't bust any altitudes today like we did yesterday. We had a quite grumpy ATC, not really grumpy towards us, but there was some other guys who got a decent flogging. So 250 knots below, yeah, so that's quite normal. Okay, so our runway is 24, should be the same heading as we had yesterday. That is set correct, and we will be entering the GoSam right here towards Edinburgh, and at Edinburgh we will be turning to 262. You can put that in there. And we can tune Edinburgh as well, 368. And if we, there we go. So that is set, so we'll follow runway heading. Let's see if we have climb straight ahead to Uniform Whiskey. That's this 4.5 India Tango Hotel. So that's 2 India Tango Hotel, that's 108.9. That is tuned on number 2. Then turn, oops, and we're turning we must cross at above 230, so we must be at 2,300 by then, and we will be. And then we'll turn right on the 262 heading, cross above 4,005, so let's just be 23 and above, and then we have distance 9.5. That is set. Yeah. Okay. So that's all set. And we will keep runway heading here and here. 6,144. Good. So we can pop these on. Okay. So we have our charts. We will push back facing east. Then we'll go on Foxtrot, and Foxtrot 1 we will go on to Alpha and follow Alpha all the way to holding point Delta 1 and enter runway 24 for a takeoff. And after taking off, we will climb on runway heading until we reach Uniform Whiskey from where we will turn on 262 heading and keep climbing as per the instructions. We must be above flight level 4,500 correction at 9.5 miles from India Tango Hotel, which is number 2. So that is briefed and okay, and we have 45160, 45160 and 151 checked. Okay, so that's all good. So now we can basically just get the very latest ATIS.
Echo Golf Papa Hotel Airport Information Hotel 1150 Zulu weather wind 221 at 13 visibility 10,000 sky condition 3,100 scattered temperature 21 dew point 15 QNH 1019 advise on initial contact you have information.
And that is good. So we can just continue here, just starting up the APU, getting everything ready. We're going at flight level 25. We have inserted flight level 250, and we'll put in 250. Is set, and we will come back to the landing altitude once we are in our cruise. Okay, so that is good. And I have 10, you have, need a bit more. Here we go. And need to set the standby altimeter set. Okay, so we are basically ready for our before start checklist. Yeah, so let's go. Pre-flight, we have the oxygens tested and transferred the space switches for auto and normal. Window heat is on, pressurization modulator is auto, flight instruments, heading and altimeters are cross-checked and correct, parking brake is set, and engine start levels are cut off. Before start we have flight deck door is closed and locked, and we will just make sure that our doors are closed. There we go. Fuel, we have 7 tons, center tank is empty and pumps are on, passenger signs are on, windows are locked, MCP we have 144 as V2, we have heading 241 and we have 6,000 set and checked. Takeoff speeds, we have 136, 137 as our rotation and 144 as our V2. CDO pre-flight is completed, rudder and aileron from 3 as 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing has been completed and the anti-collision lights can now come on. So we will ask for our pushback, just make sure that we are clear, so we will move the jocks. Remember to pop on the APU because it's so embarrassing after things shutting down. And we will request our pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And we can pop you off. And we can just monitor the text. So that way we are monitoring Unicom. No news there. Get seated. And we should at least have some ATC in London Heathrow. Might have some London controller showing up as well. We are, as you can see the timer here, UK time, so it should be a chance for some good ATC. And I do. It's a bit of a shame that we are leaving. The
all
UK.
doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Yeah, forgot to reset it, just cut it off to remove the jet bridge. But there is a big event on VATSIM going on the entire weekend where ATC controllers from all over UK are coming together in Birmingham and doing some controlling more or less the entire weekend and testing a new codec for VATSIM as well. So would have been nice to have been a part of that, but we might just catch the start of it though. After London we do go to Dublin and from there to Luxembourg, so but I'm unsure of how far we will get today. But for now our target is London, and of course when we are on our way we will of course do our best to learn something about England. Some facts and some learning is always good.
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
And we can release parking brake. And learning something new is always good. Parking brake is released.
Starting pushback and you may start engines.
Starting 2 and 1 in sequence. Starting number 2. And we have rotation. And fuel. EGT is rising. All the pressure rising, looking good. And starter cutout. EGT is dropping, looking stable. Starting number 1. And fuel. EGT rising. Oil pressure and oil temperature. Good. Starter cutout and 3, 2, 1 and boom. Temperature dropping, looking stable as well. Okay. APU off, come off, and probe heat. Still looking good, so.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Set parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Full forward, full back, full left center, right, and left, looking good. RTO, flaps 5. And we'll do one last scan, on, off. And we forgot to start the flight leg, but we'll do that now. Yep.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Okay. So we can look at our before taxi checklist. Generators on, probe it on, anti-ice off, isolation valve is auto.
Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Hand signals on the left, and bypass been removed. So we'll start with engine anti-ice is off, isolation on auto, start to discontinuous, recall checked, auto brake RTOs into start levels, idle detent. Flight control is checked and ground equipment has cleared, and there's the bypass pin. So pop you on, and I will take the weather radar and take the terrain, and let's get going. Little more. Perfect. Boom, boom, boom. So well on the way. So we're going for Foxtrot 1, which is here, on to Alpha, and then basically all the way to the end, and then take off from there. Very nice scenery in Edinburgh, and was very nice being here. We'll definitely come back to Edinburgh some other time. But for now, it's onwards with the EU tour, where our next target is England, and of course we are going to the capital, London, where we'll land in Heathrow. So I haven't been there for a while, and it shall be interesting to see how the frames react when we get there. I do expect, to be honest, us to have a few lag spikes. Would be weird otherwise with the ORBX Scenery and Airsoft Heathrow.
Approaching 1-2
Scenery, and on VATSIM with I think I just took a quick look at the VATSIM map, and there were 16 departures and 8 arrivals, and it's early in the afternoon, so it will be very busy there, and hopefully we have ATC. If not, it can be quite challenging to move around there on VATSIM with the Unicorn. But it also means that we will really have to be on our toes with the ATC. Most likely we will be vectored, and we'll be on top of the frequencies as well. So I think once we get airborne and we are automated, then we'll start looking and preparing our arrival, and then also just have a look here. Then we can have our quick history lesson, learning something about. So there's a high-speed train there in Edinburgh. Looks like a high-speed train, looks fancy. Wind pretty much straight down the runway. Well, short final looks clear. Let's just and here we go.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Thank you. And we can do the checklist before takeoff. Flaps 5, green light.
Approaching
Stabilizer
2,
trim
4.
4.7 units, I believe. D-step and transponder TARA. Checked. And we are looking for 241 on the runway.
On runway 24.
There we go. That's pretty accurate. So we will set the timer, put it up to 40. Works for me, stable. Set takeoff thrust. And I forgot the butt kicker again, but no time to fiddle with that now. Little bit of right rudder to keep center line.
80 knots. E1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. Straight ahead, runway heading.
400. $1,000.
And we're being pushed just slightly, ever so slightly by the wind. Being pushed right. I'm just waiting with the flaps just a little while longer. Okay, flaps 1. And we are where we should be, altitude-wise. It's 3000, VNAV, LNAV, VNAV. Coming into the roof of the clouds here. TAT 19, looking good, starting our turn. Looking for 262. Flaps up. In the clouds, TAT 18. Leveling out shortly. So not to overshoot. 262. 61. And command A. And we will bump us up. We are at TAT 20, so looking good. Just bump us all the way up to our final altitude. And we can clean her up. Up. And we can release the cabin crew. And here we have our altitude limitation. So we'll just stay here for a while. As per our SID. 250 not above. Still at our transition, so we'll just keep our local QNH for now. That's okay. So there's the transition altitude warning. We'll just stay here cruising just above the clouds. Literally almost driving on the roof of it.
Altimeter setting.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just to get the alarms away, set standard. That will lift us a bit higher. But that could cause a bust, so basically we should have kept the stand or the local QNH, but for now it's okay. Good to the checklist. Did clean up, but did do the checklist after takeoff. Engine bleeds are on, parks are auto, landing it up and off, flaps up, no lights after takeoff. Checklist completed. What we will do is get our desktop out and look at the VATSIM map for. I find it more handy for looking for any ATC online. For now I cannot see any red, so that means that we are ATC free. So while we have X-plane out, what I will do is reset the barrow, just prepare it for our arrival into London already. Just put it at around here. Like so, and then we'll adjust it more when we get closer. Where you go. So here we are. Yeah, so no controllers for large areas. And I am a bit worried. It looks like we have no control in Heathrow at the moment. Hopefully somebody will show up. There were before I locked on, so that's the reason why I waited actually. 17 departures and 22 arrivals. So you definitely would need a controller there. Yeah, really hope somebody shows up. But for now we are on our own. And we could imagine, of course, do we dare to just bust our SID and delete the restriction? I will just keep it here for now.
Altimeter setting.
So what we'll do, doesn't look like we have any traffic going on here, no controllers to, so we'll just put us on our way here to Elusive. There we go. No need to be that precise, as long as you're not in the way, not interfering with any incoming traffic who is trying to anticipate what you're doing, reading your info, that should be just fine. You can go away and you can go away and so can you, and we will get on with London, Heathrow. We'll go at 83, so that will be 100 is set. And we'll be looking at our arrival. Bravo, November 1, Bravo. We are at the airport, we need here. That's our arrival. And we need our approach. ILS 27 right. And what we will definitely need. What we will definitely need is some airport charts. Airport. There we go. You just have a look at how precise this is. We'll be coming in here. We'll be needing some parking stands, so there we are. Just turning to just staying on top of it. There we go. Yep, looking good. And we can extend our range a little. Not much traffic otherwise on the way down for now. A lot of traffic in Manchester, around the Midlands. So this is also usually the most busy area. I really hope the controller comes back. Dublin is nicely represented, as always. They are very, very efficient and active, the Dublin guys. So here we have Parts of Scotland, Scottish countryside, hills. Really good looking. Yeah, must give it to the ORBX Scenery, it really is insane. Hopefully the weather will be like this so we'll get some good views on our way down. So as I said, I would like to just be prepared, so I'll just set up as much as I possibly can. I would like as well parking stands. We have so we'll keep this for now, and if we should need more then we'll just park and have a look. Nice and easy, no need to stress. So there's our approach, and get to tune 1103. Okay, and 1136 for London. And that's all set, and our minimums 278, so I'll just get you back out again. And almost 275, 278 is what we're looking for. 278 and 278. Just set, can release the cabin. There we go. Nicely on our way, almost at our cruise. There we have big hole coming up. We might have a good view for the first officer. Yeah.
1,000 to go.
Okay, so we have our charts out and we are situationally aware. What we could do is 27 right, 27 right. There we go. Just get our rings in. They are so nice to have. And 10 miles. Good. And we could also put in our forecast. So we'll do all the boring stuff now, all the work, and then we can have some fun with the geography. So we'll do 20, 15, 10. Not sure we'll need it much though. Most likely we'll have some vectors. Hopefully we will have some vectors, and we'll have some control from early on, so need it in the beginning though. So 2, 4, 5, 2, 1. 242. And very calm, actually. And we can select that. Here we go. Set as well. Okay. So everything is looking good. Pressurization is also looking good. So just some, no need to use the anti-ice here. Getting some good views here. Here we are, passing over Dumfries, just past over Dumfries here, and Carlisle is in there somewhere. Stunning scenery. Here we have some good foothills coming up as well, showing up on the terrain radar. Up to almost 3,000 feet. And we'll be meeting a Ryanair coming the other way on its way to Edinburgh. I'll need to reset this window because it didn't load as sharply as I had hoped, so we'll just redo that. Now MovieR does that sometimes, and you can see it by how big this bar is. If it's slightly larger, then you'll get a lower resolution on the window that you're opening, and all you need to do is, like I did now, and you'll get a much sharper image than you had. So he is oh, a little bit of lag here. Yes, well clear of us. No need to worry about him. And let's look at... Still no. Yeah, it looks like we might have some. No. So, let's learn something about England, where we're headed. The fourth and last United Kingdom country on a European tour. So let's start here. Boom. England. England is a country that is a part of the United Kingdom. It shares land borders with Wales to the west and Scotland to the north. The Irish Sea lies west of England and the Celtic Sea to the southwest. England is separated from continental Europe by the North Sea to the east and the English Channel to the south. The currency is pound sterling, capital London. Currently, in 2017, there were 55.6 million inhabitants, and it has legal jurisdiction over the United Kingdom, England and Wales. I might be saying something wrong. London, where we're headed, is of course known for Big Ben, the Tower, and England itself is known for soccer, and cricket and the Queen Elizabeth. There we have our Ryanair passing us, and he will not be within visible range, I think. No, he's 30 miles out, so no chance that we'll be seeing him. But we will be seeing a lot of nice views of the countryside today, that I am sure of. It looks really good. And while I remember it, let me try to get my my butt kicker was actually active, but Just a very low volume set. It does that now and then. When I restart it, it just sets the volume very low. So a nice day to fly here. Okay, so onwards with our learning experience. So that was the quick facts. Let's do the fun facts. England is the most populated country in the United Kingdom. The other countries that make up the United Kingdom are Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland. That much we know, we have already been there. England is bordered by, yeah, we know that. Population, yeah, we know that. The capital is London. Other major cities include Birmingham, Manchester, Sheffield, Liverpool, Newcastle and Leeds. England includes many small islands such as the Isle of Wight and Hayling Island. There are only 34 kilometers gap between England and France, and the countries are connected by the Channel Tunnel, which opened in 1994. I don't know, it was supposed to be fun facts, not quick facts. Famous English scientists include Charles Darwin, Michael Faraday, Isaac Newton, and of course the late Stephen Hawking. The longest river in the United Kingdom is the River Severn, located in England and Wales. It stretches for 354 kilometers. That's 220 miles in length. Longest river found entirely in England is the River Thames. It flows through London and is slightly shorter than the River Severn at around 346. Yeah, so it's very close, right? Largest lake in England is Windermere. The highest mountain in England is Scafell Pike, which stands at 978 meters. That's 3,200 feet. England has a large economy and uses the pound sterling as its currency. So, yeah, we'll keep it at that, and then we will listen to the national anthem. I think there are two, but the most used and most famous one is, of course, God Save the Queen. So let's just have a listen here on how that sounds. So it's playing. As we are closing in on Lancaster. So there you have it. God Save the Queen. I can shut you down, and we can shut you down as well. And you. And then we can go back to our flying here. So what I would like to see is how the weather is at our destination. So I'll just update Windy, my trusty Windy client, which I love to use, gives us heaps of information and is so precise. I really like it. From what I can gather, it gathers information from local weather services, trusted weather services in various countries, and compiles it all into this nice site here. So we are looking at Heathrow. So it actually looks like we'll be coming out of the clouds in not too long, actually. So after passing Liverpool and Manchester, we should be, yeah, so we have a while yet with some participation and weather like this. And Then we'll go to Heathrow, where it's currently at 1024. So I'll just pop that in for now. Now, from my experience with VATSIM is that metas on VATSIM just hang slightly behind windy, not much, but just slightly. So it can happen that you'll get usually a QNH that would be like 1023 or something like that, very close to. But more than not, that's actually the same meta that is active in the sim. So let's just have a look here. 10 kilometers, no clouds, 25 degrees. Yeah, so it's lovely weather. Perfect. And let's have a look at VATSIM. So from what I can see here, still no ATC in. So after Liverpool, Manchester, I'll start to get a bit worried. Really had hoped to have ATC in one of the most active ATCs areas on the network on a Friday afternoon. Nonetheless, could have come up. I could have logged on in the evening and done the flight then, but then the views would have been different. And when you have the time to fly, you need to fly. You can't sit around waiting for the perfect moment. There's no guarantee that ATC. Yeah, there's guaranteed that ATC will be there due to the event, but I really had high hopes. We were online for a few hours, so I thought, yeah, he might stay there for an entire day, but he didn't. So we are closing in on some quite busy airspace, but mostly in the lower levels as flights are leaving and coming into Manchester. You have a Ryanair. He is I think he is well below us, so no issues there. I don't know if we might get a look at him. 10 miles out. Might need to go to FOC to catch a glimpse. Should be below us somewhere. Maybe it's in the clouds. Might see the VATSIM icon though. The FO is getting nice use as well, so somewhere over there it should be. And no visual. So I'll just jump back into the captain's seat and get my seat back. Yeah, so he's descending now. Better view here though. Extend the range a bit. So let's see. Yeah, that looks like a well-planned top of descent by Vina. So we'll reach our top of descent in 84 nautical miles, and equates to in about 10 minutes from now. Look at that scenery. Let's look at the details down there. Almost standing up in my chair. So that should be Manchester, Liverpool, Manchester down there, actually. Let me just see if I can find a drink. There we go. Put my trusty controller down here. And London has tuned itself, so what we can do is something like this. Yeah, it's actually quite. Had expected a more busy flight than this with the ATC, but actually quite quiet. So what we can do, let's look at the frequencies here. So we have 2 towers. Most likely it would be. Let's just observe this cloud here before we do anything. Just be careful with that icing in X-planes, but we're good. Just need to observe. It looks like there's some clouds ahead, so some higher clouds. Just need to make sure that we don't do something silly. So we could tune, just prepare. Just in case. Never know. Here we are. Over busy area here. And by the looks of it, no ATC yet in Heathrow. So pop you down here. Grab you here. Just take a look at this. This updates faster than the map. We do have someone on the route ahead of us who is climbing out of Manchester, no doubt. So we see Manchester well staffed. No Heathrow. I think it's maybe it's a bit daunting task for a control to go in there alone now. I bet you it's busy as I wouldn't have imagined it. So let's see. Let's try to figure out who is in front of us. It might actually be at 40 miles. So it might actually be this guy here. Going to Innsbruck. So he's in for a bit longer ride. Let's zoom in a bit here on Heathrow. 16. Yeah. We should be able to look at the arrivals and the departures and everything here, but we won't. But I think it was 16 and 20 something arrivals, departures, so quite busy. And here we are. British Airways hot on our tail as well, climbing out of Manchester. So let's just brief our arrival as we are turning on to Cockpit. 149. Another one climbing out. Straight below us. So here we are, just entering the chart here. And we're going to Nuka. Cockpit, sorry. Let's find Cockpit. Here we go. Heading to Cockpit, Sobbit, Westcott. Then BNN. And after BNN we will be starting the approach. Into London. Now we didn't actually do one of the most important things, so we can do that now. Let's walk through our route. I was more preoccupied with ATC and the charge, I think. So we'll just go through that now. So yeah, we might need to fix this here. So what we'll do, we'll put that at 0, 0. Sorry. We'll do this just to help ourselves. There we go. So we got our curved line and better chance for us to be stabilized on our approach, which will be nice and long 10-mile final. But basically we are to bit straight ahead from Bravo November onto our fake waypoint, which will give us a nice turn into runway 27. So looking good. And altitudes, just check the altitudes and speeds. Bravo November, we are at 83 and 240. But again, very busy airspace, and in busy periods you shouldn't really go there if there's no ATC. Yeah, so we're good. So we can go back to map. Turn out a bit, closing in on our top of descent. What we'll do is we'll pop you down to 150. Since we have no ATC, we will do this ourselves. So yeah, it's been a while since I have been to this scenery, Heathrow, London, so I'm quite curious to see what it will do for our FPS. We are quite low, and we do have some clouds, so it should be quite a strain on the CPU, but of course it will get worse as we get lower. There are no clouds predicted in London. We should be clearing the worst of it now, actually. It's going to be coming out into clear weather. Oh, I did that. As you can see here, just go back, compare. So we're at Birmingham now, still in the clouds, so still might be, it will be a bit cloudy here and there, but we'll generally be getting good views from now on. Just jumping around in my seat to get some good views here. And the view around the cabin. boom. Would really like for this to work, not because I'm going to use it, but just, yeah. I would like everything to work. I would like the weather radar tilt to work as well. Would be a nice addition to do some work on the weather radar system in general. Get it better, so we have the scans instead of just the blobs, and be able to tilt, and yeah. But there's always things that could be done better, right? We're almost at our top of descent, 5 miles to go. And then it should leave us with 90 track miles, and that is just spot on for a very nice and stable descent all the way down to Heathrow, London, where we currently have no ATC, which is a shame, really. Also, a bit annoying because, as you will know if you have seen my other legs on this journey, I have had a tendency to have ATC pop on basically when you are on short final, just before you disconnect and stuff like that, and it's really a hassle to have to tune and everything, so it would be nice to have a heads up in due time, but still no ATC available. We'll just keep monitoring. There's our descent. You can see the passengers. I just need to scratch my head here underneath the mask, so just bear with me. But other than that, for the VR mask, it's quite comfortable. I think it's personal how you feel about wearing it, but for me, I tend to forget about it after a while. It doesn't get too hot, doesn't completely forget about it. Generally just get into the universe and forget about the mask. All in all, so quite happy with it, and also very comfortable to wear, actually. So. Classic British landscape below us. Let's get a good view of that. And let's get seated correctly. So I just want to make sure I have adjusted my seating just as I wanted. There we go. All set for landing. And 43 minutes into the flight as well. So, and of course, next stop after London Heathrow is Dublin, which is Ireland, which is not a part of the UK. So a completely independent country and membering country, so to speak. So that'll be the last stop on the British Islands, and then we'll be heading into mainland Europe from Dublin to Luxembourg. And from Luxembourg, I am contemplating going to Nice in France before heading out to Lisbon in Portugal. From Lisbon to Alicante, and from Alicante we will be going to either Naples in Italy, or we will go direct to Malta. I do think we'll go to Naples and then Malta. So a lot of work yet to be done. So at 20,000, just holding here for a bit. Very nice descent programmed here for VNAV, does it perfectly. Still no ATC, so I'll clear us to 10, just to give us some time here. There we go. Check this page. let's just get the latest weather from Heathrow. It is still a bit early to tune it, so I'll get it on the map here. QNH as we said, and 5 knots wind. So I will stick with our plan for now. And we have one there expecting 27 right, so as long as people are sticking to that, or lamb expecting 27 right. And he is 224. So this is this guy, I think. It does looks like they're coming in, and we might actually need to. We'll have to keep an eye out, but we might need to do some self-vectoring just to coming nicely in between all the traffic. So what I'll do is keep this down for now. We have, by the looks of it, we have at least 3, maybe 4. Yeah, he's going in as well, so at least 4 guys going in. But they're all closer than us, so hopefully they will be all sorted by the time we arrive. But we will need to make a quick exit, so we'll use auto brake 3. Clears to 5. And I'll basically hide you away for now. Focus on the approach and do our best. There we go. Just one more good view. It's beautiful, beautiful scenery it is. Just yeah. Asking for drag, he wants to go to, but it will manage by itself, I'm quite sure. So speed is dropping slowly, so we'll just leave it as is. We'll try to reach the 250 by 10,000, no doubt. One more turn and then it's time to turn final, basically. And the transition. $6,000. Coming into Bravo, November. So let's pop some lights on, and we will just revisit our corrected to 143, so that gives us an approach speed of 148. So medical checked. And we will ask the cabin to get ready. So descent pressurization is set to landing altitude. Recall was checked. Auto brake set to 3. Landing VREF 148 and minimums 278, and we have set the QNH as well. Approach briefing completed. Just look at the missed approach. So right turn, so straight ahead and passing 1580 or 00 IRR, which is tuned. Chevrolet later climbing, turn right to 316. So we'll tune that here. Perfect on the speed and on the profile, looking very good. So we do have one guy coming in to view. See him over here. He's way lower than us though. Is he climbing? It's hard to tell. Actually, it doesn't look like he is on approach for. Yeah, so he shouldn't be a problem. So we'll stick to where we are now, looking good, and we have 2 other guys on approach. They are on the final, so we should be well clear. And if I recall, I didn't see any traffic other than us that would arrive at this particular moment. So very nice views here. Just standing up in the chair a little to get that. Need to remember to enjoy this as well. Just skipping the cloud here. Great Britain, some little suburbs of London, and we are TAT 20, looking good. And 6000 we can set local QNH, and let's just listen if there is any.
Echo Golf Whiskey Uniform Airport Information November 1213 Zulu Weather Wind calm visibility 10,000 sky condition few clouds at 3000 temperature 24 dew point 14 QNH 1024 advise on initial contact you have information.
It wasn't Heathrow, but it was close enough, and confirmed that the QNH we have is correct. So a bit faster, we could get out the speed brake. We just leave it as it is for now, because from what I can see we are well clear of other aircraft for this arrival, and I'd like to keep it that way. So just stay fast for a little while, then shortly we'll pop out flap 1. And London should be coming into view nicely here, yeah. There's the airport. There's as London. Flaps 1. Beautiful scenery. And the frame's still at 20. With clouds and everything, so definitely not bad. Flaps 2. Slowly stepping her down, no need to rush it.
1,000 to go.
Just check, and we'll clear us to the approach. Turning on the 10-mile ring, so when after a turn we will do a before a landing checklist. So just enjoying the view here of London. There's our turn to final. And as we're coming out of the turn, we'll configure our flaps 5. There we go.
$1,000 to go.
And we'll tune, and we can arm the approach. Set 3,000. Cabin crew, please be seated for landing. London City. And we look clear ahead. And we can configure, gear down, flaps 15. And we'll imagine that we are clear to land. Engine start which is continuous, speed brake is armed, landing it down 3 green, flaps 15, green lights holding on landing flap which is 30, cabin is secure and clear to land. And we'll be looking at 148. So let's I'm not sure if I actually activated now I come to think that the project fly, so we might not have a landing rate calculation for this landing. So of course I'll be doing a perfect landing today since we do not have a calculator there, but we'll check once we're down. Runway does look clear. 5 miles out. I do see 2 reds, 2 whites as well. Wind is currently straight crosswind and 7 knots. Don't know which stadium this is, but ORBX do make some very nice scenery, must say. A lot of traffic out there leaving. So we'll conflict
1,000.
flaps 30.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Perch altitude set.
And we'll dial you down. And we will disconnect.
Approaching 27 right.
With wind there.
500. 400.
Watch the speed. Bit high.
300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
And we are landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
So there's a scenery from Aerosoft. I do think it's a bit old. I don't quite know. But if you look at the runway textures, and it looks a bit artificial. So we'll exit here. Yeah. And we'll find ourselves a nice stand. Clean up. Yep, set. And we'll have a look at where we're going. Now obviously I would like to find a gate which is close to runway 27 left, where traffic is currently taking off from. So what I think we'll do is head to Terminal 5C. Pop the APU on. A little bit more to run on. Big Qantas A380s. So hopefully there's a vacant spot for us over there, where there isn't any VATSIM or static aircraft. So we'll keep a close eye here. We'll call that 3 minutes after landing, more or less. Maybe not, but we'll. Do think, but that's large aircraft. We'll need to turn in here in Terminal C, I think. So these are large aircraft, so we'll go on the next one actually. Go in here. Then we'll go over there by that British Airways. Looks like there's a vacant spot. Yeah, that looks like a spot for us. nice spot in between these two British Airways. On terminal A5. Hopefully they won't be pushing back now just yet. So we'll just this is completely British Airways, so will not fit in at all. Might actually be doing something wrong even, but we don't care. We'll park here. That'll do us just nice. Stat 509. Let's slow it down. I don't know, is there a British Airways special terminal? Oh no. Anywho, that's where we're going. And looking at the gate guidance, going for perfect parking today as well. There we go. Pop the ABU on. Kill the engine. And cabin crew, please disarm the doors and slides. And we are good. Welcome to London, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are in England, in our European tour, last country of the UK, and we had a nice flight, no issues whatsoever. We did not have ATC, which were a bit disappointing, but we can't win them all, can you? So the next time we'll be going to Dublin in Ireland, a place I've gone to many times before, and usually they have ATC. Dublin will be our last stand here in the British Isles before we head out into mainland Europe. But before we do anything else, we will shut this down and we will have a look at our landing rate. So let's just have a look-see here. Move VR, manage Windows, desktop, and shut you down. Hopefully I did activate it, but it would be typical of me not to. Kind of got disturbed right as I was setting up, so yeah, I didn't even so if I do this it won't. Yeah, so unfortunately we have no landing rate for this particular flight, which is a shame. These things do happen first time, but we still have our parking rate though. So what we'll do is that we will jump back in, set the chocks and turn off. Not correctly seated for this, but anyhow. Also terminate the flight leg and restart the turnaround timer just for kicks in case we do. We'll leave it on. If we get the chance to do another leg, we will do that in this setup. So let's look at the parking rate here in Heathrow. It's not too bad. Could be better. We have big fat lines here, should be able to hit them, but we are in the yellow and yellow is approved. So I am quite happy with this parking actually. Unfortunately there are no automated jetways or anything like that in the Heathrow scenery. It is quite old scenery, so have to do without that. But here we are sitting in London Heathrow in England, the capital of England actually, and we had a nice flight with some good views, and nice weather, good views on our approach and descent. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. Please do subscribe, like and share, and I will see you shortly on our next flight to Dublin, Ireland, the last stop on the British Islands before we head back into mainland Europe on our European tour. Thank you and bye bye.